This donkey chases the dangling carrot, and that reward will keep it moving forward. But human motivation, it doesn't really work that way. Our brains are not attracted to simple rewards. They get distracted by fast food and endless scrolling. Let's break down why this happens and how we can hack our brain's defaults to finally choose to do the things we wish we'd done but never feel motivated enough to actually do. Let me tell you a story about a guy riding his own brain, like a horse. To get it moving, he dangles a present as bait. What's in the present, you ask? You'll see in just a moment. But for now, remember that our guy has never tasted ice cream before. To help you put yourself in his shoes, let's do a little trick. That's it. Don't imagine the taste of this ice cream. When our guy finally takes the first bite of ice cream, he's going to experience something new. The sweetness combined with the cold, creamy texture is unlike anything else. This moment is going to be remembered forever. From now on, his brain will start paying attention to triggers, those signals or actions that can predict when the next ice cream might be coming. Let's look at what led up to him eating this ice cream. What did he do before that moment? Perhaps he arrived at the beach? From now on, the smell of the ocean or even the smell of sunscreen will make him crave ice cream. Sounds familiar? Sure, because everyone's brain works this way. This response is hardwired into our brain system. I'll explain more in just a second, but for now, it's important to understand that to do this, the brain uses a neurotransmitter we all know, dopamine. Now, unlike what most people think, dopamine does not just make us feel good. Instead, it helps our brain connect specific triggers to potential outcomes. To make it simple, let's start with something we all understand well: food. Now, this is a fridge. It's got food and your brain knows it. Have you ever opened the fridge, looked inside, saw nothing new, closed it, then, a minute later, opened it again? Not sure why? Well, remember the present our guy dangles to motivate his brain? That's what's in the present, a craving for something new. As silly as it might sound, your brain wonders if something new appeared in the fridge, even if it's only been 2 minutes. While you know nothing changed, the dopamine-seeking part of your brain does not. It's not rational, it's just how our brain defaults to work. Let's dive into why it happens. Dopamine is like a sneaky puppet master, pulling the strings to get what it wants. It doesn't really create pleasure, it creates an itch, a sense of discomfort you can't ignore. And the stronger the itch, the more it drives you to act, even when you don't want to. It might look like dopamine is a manipulative trickster, but its job is to ensure survival, pushing us toward things that seem important, like high-calorie foods or new information. Back then, this helped us stay alive. These days, it pulls us towards quick hits, like scrolling our phones for new attractive information, tricking us into thinking it's more rewarding than reading a book, even if all we want is just to read a book. But here's the good news. If you can resist the itch, instead of scratching it right away, you can turn dopamine into your friend and use it to motivate yourself to do the things that truly matters to you. That was nice, but you must be asking yourself, what's next? In the next part, we're going to dive into a more science-backed explanation and finish with 3 practical tips to boost your motivation. Dopamine is fascinating. It's the driving force behind our actions. But here's the thing, it's not limitless. While there's a complex process of how dopamine is being created in the brain, in this video, we'll focus on how the brain's operating system uses its limited dopamine stores and how this impacts your daily life. Dopamine is stored in tiny pockets in your brain cells, what scientists would call vesicles. Think of these as tiny energy tanks, and every action you take either drains these tanks of dopamine or fills them back up. Our daily routine plays a significant role in the dopamine cycle. For instance, sleeping is an essential part of this cycle. When we fall asleep at night, our brains prepare for the next day to come by building more dopamine and filling those tanks, ensuring we have enough to start our day feeling motivated and healthy. Our brains evolved to thrive in environments where physical movements and effort were essential for our survival. Think about hunters and gatherers. They had to move to eat and survive. Hunting requires focus and precision, while gathering requires a lot of patience and stamina. Movement isn't just physical, it's deeply tied to how our dopamine system works. And here's the good news. We can use this connection to our advantage. Here's where things get tricky. Modern life is full of dopamine thieves. There are things like social media, junk food, or endless notifications designed to hack your brain's reward system with quick, unnatural bursts of stimulation. And our brain really likes to snake on these information pieces. I call it information snacking. Quick bites of stimulation that keeps our brain busy, providing a short relief to the dopamine itch, but leaving you unfulfilled. It's just like snacking food instead of having a proper meal. We do it because it's fun. fun, and it scratches the dopamine itch. Your dopamine doesn't care where the rewards came from, whether it's a learning news, high-calorie food, funny videos, porn, whatever. When you engage in these high-stimulation activities, your brain gets a sense of relief. It feels like it's gotten what it needs. But here's the catch. As soon as your brain identifies this sense of relief, it starts craving it again and again. And this is where the dopamine itch comes in. That annoying, restless discomfort that makes you grab your phone or open the door of the fridge without even thinking about it. It's a reflexive, unwanted, and unplanned action. And sometimes it's so automatic you don't even realize you're doing it. Your brain, guided by dopamine, pushes you towards these actions to scratch the itch and regain relief. But once you give in, it drains dopamine from its little tanks, eventually dropping you below your baseline. It leaves you feeling sluggish, unmotivated, and even more frustrated. Now, after understanding all of these, let's talk about mornings. After a good night's sleep, your dopamine levels are up, helping you feel motivated to begin your day. Now, imagine starting your morning by scrolling your phone. You're giving your brain instant stimulations, draining the dopamine built during the night's sleep. But when you stop, even simple tasks would feel overwhelming. Now, every task will require much more energy because you have to push yourself without having enough dopamine. You can do it, but you'll feel very exhausted afterwards. Acting below the dopamine baseline would make what seems easy feel like an enormous effort. The hardest part of any task is the beginning. But why? Because those first 10 to 15 minutes are when the dopamine itch feels the strongest. It's that restless, uncomfortable urge that makes focusing feel impossible. It's your brain basically saying, why put in all this effort when you could do something else right now that will make you feel a lot better and would be much simpler? And this is why distractions are so tempting. They promise instant relief. These unwanted and unplanned reflexive, mindless actions, like scrolling TikToks, binging videos, or grabbing a snack, trick your brain into thinking you're doing something beneficial. But in reality, they drain your dopamine tanks, leaving you stuck in a cycle of procrastination and frustration. It makes us feel awful, and it's important to note that our brain uses emotions and feelings as signals that help it understand what's happening in the outside world. And when we feel this frustration, our brain will try its best to shift our attention from discomfort to comfort as quickly as possible. And guess what? It uses distractions, because distractions allow the brain to shift focus from negative to positive in the here and now, and therefore they serve as a self-defense mechanism for emotional regulation. Here's a link for a video I created just about this topic. So, as I said, during these 10 minutes you will feel the dopamine itch at its strongest. The more complex yet healthier and more important activities you're trying to do requires effort, because you have to push yourself to do it when you probably don't have enough dopamine to motivate yourself to do it. But these activities will eventually begin recharging your dopamine tanks. Until then, your brain will do anything it can to convince you that there are better things you can do, and that you should save the energy you're trying to use for more important things, like survival. And here's the important harsh truth. You can learn to push through those 10 to 15 minutes. And the more you do it, the more your brain will recognize these activities as potentially dopamine-releasing activities. And through the time, it will become easier to do them. And that's where things get really interesting for us. Okay, now that we've covered how dopamine works, let's talk solutions. I'd like to introduce you to a framework I came up with and I'm using in my own personal life. Dopa-Crash versus Dopa-Charge activities. Here's the difference between crash and charge. Dopa-Crash. Those activities will grab your attention with intense stimulations and instant reward. As soon as your brain will recognize these rewards, it will start craving it again and again, and it will create the dopamine itch, this restless urge designed to make you act, and it has one promise: a quick relief. Dopa-Crash activities are mentally seductive and often overload your senses, but they lack real value. They don't fuel your energy, advance your goals, or leaves you with lasting growth or satisfaction. Dopa-Charge. These activities require efforts up front but release dopamine over time. They might feel challenging at first, but they create momentum, and over time, they energize you, refill your dopamine tanks, and leave you feeling accomplished. The key difference? Dopa-Charge activities leaves you better off than when you started, but Dopa-Crash activities often leave you worse. For example, starting your day with a Dopa-Charge activity like walking, running, cleaning, or cooking will increase your dopamine level above baseline. And from there, it will be much easier to tackle meaningful tasks. It also gives you the mental clarity you need to define what really matters to you. What's your goal for the day? What actions or activities will move you closer to achieving it? Once you define it, you're ready to make real progress. Here's how to use it in your daily life. Start tagging your activities. We all phone-crastinating. Yes, I said phone-crastinating. It's a thing. Phone-crastination. scrolling through our phones instead of getting things done. It's normal, and I'm not telling you have to stop doing it. However, I want to offer a different perspective for how you can design your life. If you have a day off and you want to chill doing nothing, feel free to burst your dopamine resources. If it makes you happy, go for it, enjoy it. But if you know you have an important task you want to do, use your brain operating system smartly and choose the things you're going to do wisely. Before you start doing anything, ask yourself one thing. Is this a Dopa-Charge or a Dopa-Crash? You can write it down, you can track it on your phone, you can do whatever you want with it. But make sure you know the answer. For example, scrolling Instagram, Dopa-Crash. Morning workout, Dopa-Charge. Watching TikToks in bed, Dopa-Crash. Taking a cold shower, probably Dopa-Charge. Now, let's say you tagged Instagram scrolling as a Dopa-Crash activity. That's great, but let's be real, you're probably going to do it again. Why? Because you're a human, and it's totally fine. The goal isn't perfection. Is about understanding your true needs. Try to design your day to maximize your dopamine usage. It will undoubtedly help you to do the things you really want to do. After waking up, choose Dopa-Charge activities. Begin your day with fueling your dopamine tanks. Clean your kitchen, take a walk outside, do an exercise, whatever works. You can also enjoy a sugar-free coffee to boost your focus, and then list the things you want to do and go straight to do them. Sounds easy, but is it? Well, the hardest thing that you are going to face in this perfect day that you just designed, it's avoiding those tempting, so easy to reach Dopa-Crash activities. It's everywhere. Walking outside sounds so easy and pleasant, but in reality, your phone is in your pocket. And so does TikTok or Instagram or anything your brain craves. Want to take your game one step ahead? There are 3 things I advise you to do. First, understand the true need behind your crave. For example, you're scrolling through Instagram, watching your friends' photos and videos. You're probably doing it because you crave social connection, and that's amazing. Do not ignore this emotion. Instead, use it as a signal to act differently. Call a friend, schedule a hangout, or make weekend plans. This will satisfy your deeper need for social connection and also will build anticipation, and that's a powerful motivator. You will probably still have the dopamine itch to scroll through Instagram. That's totally normal, and one extra tip that I would like to give you is to practice gratitude, because when you practice gratitude, it will replace your dopamine itch with something else, with a lot of serotonin. I will dive deep into it in another video. But now I want you to know that if you'll practice gratitude in these times, your brain will naturally choose these actions more often. 2. Increase the friction for Dopa-Crash activities. You have to find a way to eliminate the easy access Dopa-Crash activities. Can't handle the morning bed phone scrolling? Get an alarm clock. Put your phone far away outside of your room. Can't control your unwanted reflexive scrolling? Use my shortcut automation to increase the friction. Here's the video for how to do it. Please, lock yourself outside of these tempting apps. The bigger the friction would be, the more energy you would need to have in order to do it. And in most cases, you will ditch it. Increase this friction. Use it wisely. 3. Reduce the friction for Dopa-Charge activities. Running outside? It's hard, for real, and at first it's even harder. But if you break down the steps you need to take for this run, eliminating the decision-making process will make it much easier, because it will require a lot less mental energy, making Dopa-Charge a decision-free activity. When I want to run in the morning, I usually prepare everything I need for this run a night before. I put my running shoes and outfit right near me, making it very easy to access. I also like to plan my route, and I have a playlist I enjoy listening while I run, and all of these small preparations makes running much less demanding, making it a lot easier to just focus on one thing. Go outside and run. Reducing the decision-making process will reduce the friction between you and doing. And in most cases, my morning run starts off very slow, but after a few minutes, I increase my pace without even noticing it. Bottom line, guys, responsibility is your key. Taking responsibility can feel overwhelming at first. Knowing that every choice you need to take will impact your motivation, that's a lot to process. But here's the truth. This is how your brain operating system works. You cannot change it, but you can decide how you can work with it. Ask yourself, what do you want to do with this knowledge? Maybe you don't have a clear answer right now, and that's okay. The key is to start small and intentional. Living a better life starts with better choices. And while the world full with dopamine thieves trying to hijack your focus, you can take control. And it's really fine to enjoy those distractions occasionally, but when they become a problem, remember, you can shift the balance. So what you choose today, Dopa-Charge or Dopa-Crash. Any decision is an opportunity to either refill those dopamine tanks or drain them. Start small, make a Dopa-Crash activity harder to reach, and choose just one Dopa-Charge activity to begin your day with. Make all the preparations you need the night before and enjoy a decision-free Dopa-Charge morning activity. Momentum builds one step at a time. Choose wisely. Guys, like if you enjoyed this video, share it with someone you love. Please subscribe. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.